The castle. The princess had been left behind for the summer, and although she was not quite ready to guard the main castle, it made perfect sense for her to begin her training for a future castle of her own. Not surprisingly, in the Catskills.
That's a definite no, my father emphatically chastised me, stabbing his finger in the air for emphasis. You're only 16 years old, too young to be left alone all summer while Mom and I are away on our European cruise. Honey, we were talking to friends of ours whose son goes to summer camp, and after listening to their son Eddie tell us how much he enjoyed the camp, we decided that it might be a great idea for you to go there. And by the way, this is not a negotiable deal. We're confident that you'll have a great time, and who knows, maybe you'll meet Prince Charming and frolic around the castle grounds all summer. Right, I told myself. Prince Charming is just so busy grooming his white steed in anticipation of scooping me up onto the saddle and galloping off into the sunset. Arming myself with unwelcome resignation, I stood on the dock watching my parents ascend the wooden ramp leading up to the USS Queen Mary. With all the passengers aboard, the great horn tooted its final farewell. I tugged on my brother's arm, coaxing him away from the shadow of the enormous ship as it slowly left port. We turned and headed across the street to the lot where our dad's Buick was parked. Want to sit next to me or in the back, my brother offered, as a negotiable option at last. I'll take the front next to you, thank you very much. You know I get carsick if I sit in the back. The single winding road steadily climbed upwards as we drove along the side of the mountains. My ears popped and clogged, popped and clawed. I swallowed, I sneezed, I blew my nose, cleared my throat with a loud humph. After 2 hours and at least 10 cries out of, "Oh, there's a cow," my brother's patience was very, very thin. Stan reached over to pop open the glove compartment. "Hey, pain in the ass, grab the map. I think we're really close. Look at the map so you can tell me which exit we'll need to turn off on. Please, please make it be really, really close." I traced my finger along the red line mapping our route. I shouted out directions to my brother as we maneuvered our way down several more turns along unpaved rocky roads. Ahead, we finally spotted a heavy chain linked between two large oaks. Flapping in the wind, a green and white silk banner bore a hand-printed message, "Welcome to Camp Lexington." "I guess we're here," my brother breathed with a sigh of relief. Stan turned off the ignition and we sat in the car waiting for any sign of human life. Finally, a 20-something blonde appeared from a path to our left. Making her way towards our car, she smiled, her hand extended out in greeting. "Hi, I'm Cassie, your counselor. So happy to meet you." She smiled up at my brother, her back towards me. "Will you be visiting your sister on visiting day?" "Nah, sorry, I can't make it," my brother shrugged his shoulders. Turning to me, Stan gave me an affectionate little shove, kissed me on the cheek, and waved goodbye. For the next half hour, a steady stream of campers arrived. After the chaos of tearful goodbyes and happy reunions with last summer's friends, brave and very patient counselors organized their groups and walked their broods off down the dirt path. Cassie led me and my 3 bunkmates in a straight line past the chain link, and the 4 of us bounding after her like chicks following the mother hen. "Oh no, is this where I'm supposed to spend the next 2 months of my life?" I shuddered. My castle, as my father termed it, stood on damp, mossy ground. A lopsided porch gained entry up 2 creaking steps leading up the front door. No door, just an open doorway frame covered with a mesh screen pockmarked with razor-sharp gaps large enough to accommodate a wayward bird. Carefully avoiding the split plank threatening to collapse the porch, I walked into my summer abode. Clinging to the walls like glue, an odor of mildew, dirty socks, and crushed potato chips assaulted my nostrils. Sticky yellow curlicues hung down from the ceiling rafters, serving as burial grounds for poor deceased flies, mosquitoes, and an array of other little buggies I couldn't identify nor ever wanted to. Lined up in front of each narrow cot was a combat green Army supply trunk. Identifying my name tag secured to the leather strap of one of the trunks, I took the key from the pocket of my jeans and unlocked the top. Grabbing a handful of t-shirts, shorts, and undies, I headed towards my assigned cubby. As I was neatly stuffing my stuff, I dropped a pair of socks, startled by a crackling, disembodied voice over the loudspeaker announcing a mandatory meeting in the rec room in 10 minutes. "Okay, girls, let's get moving." Cassie waved her arms, signaling us out of the non-door doorway. Standing at the front of a double red barn door, a lanky teenage boy pointed and directed campers to grab a chair from the stack leaning against the wall. I dragged my chair through the double doors, placed it facing front towards what appeared to be a theater stage, and waited for the show to begin. It was a huge space, a converted barn, I realized. I could almost inhale the lingering sense of haystacks and cow manure. I wondered if this former barn still hosted a home for bats and big-eyed owls. I swatted at tiny gnats and flies buzzing around my head, hoping that at least the wasps and bees found the outdoors more preferable. Can this get any worse? What next? A black widow spider dropping onto my lap, or a bat whose radar went awry and dropped down on my head? I wiggled in my seat, trying to shake off the crawling, stinging pain of grossness.